You are the executive. You are the CEO. You are the CIO. You are the CFO. You are the director, the senior VP of information security in your company, in your organization. I want you to imagine something. Imagine the entire world is faced with the largest system virus seen in history. But remember, you're the leader. You are the leader. Similar to one of the worst viruses that has occurred in history. More devastating than the Sasser. More devastating than CryptoLocker. More devastating than the Code Red, Zeus, WannaCry, the I Love You virus that caused 15 billion in damages. Your users, your company, the company you're leading, found all files on the systems deleted all at once. The virus lay dormant on systems and servers globally. To top it off, the enhancement was made to create a malicious rootkit that caused some damage even on mobile smartphones. All cloud storage deleted. All archives connected to any laptop or desktop or server deleted. And then, that's okay, you pull up your backup files from your secondary location, freshly imaged workstation, connected back to the server, deleted. Not knowing who to turn to for your company's ability to recover this valuable data during a crisis like this, detrimental. How much is your company data worth to you? How much is your company's reputation worth to you? How much is it worth to the stakeholders? How much is this catastrophic event worth? What will you invest into your cybersecurity? Is it time? Is it money? Is it resources? Is it the best top talent? How do you know your security works? So a lot of what I talk about is not something that's not known here. I do understand that there is a lot known regarding, vulnerabilities and things that can happen. There's one article in particular that, depending how versed you are in the cybersecurity world, you may or may not be aware of. But have you heard of Pegasus, the spyware? Somewhere, I want to say July 2021, this Pegasus spyware was developed by the Israeli cyber arms firm NSO Group that can covertly be installed on mobile phones and other devices running most versions of iOS and Android. And according to these articles, this project Pegasus Revelations suggests that the current Pegasus software can exploit all recent iOS versions up to 14.6, and it was capable of reading text messages, tracking calls, collecting passwords, location tracking, accessing the target device's microphone and camera, and harvesting information from apps. It's just something where, here we are looking to the left and the threat's coming from the right, or looking to the front, it's coming from behind, and you kind of get the idea. That was kind of why I wanted to talk on this topic here. It's more like, where is our minds, are we thinking when it comes to cybersecurity? there's another article. Let me kind of go deeper into what I'm saying here. Think about, just imagine this, okay? We are at war. Think of cybersecurity as we are at war. You know, some of the threats that happened before, they're not going to be the same in the future. So we keep thinking about these viruses that are stealing passwords or tracking or cookies, or we think about DDoS and all of these things. And yeah, they're still there and they do happen. But more what I'm talking about is, let's think about the unknown, okay? Let's think about some of the philosophical sides of war that we can apply to, you know, the cyber war that we're dealing with, okay? So I just pulled up this article and I thought it was pretty nice. It's on, it's from businessinsider.com. Just kind of a basic write-up. It says 33 war strategies that will help you win everything in life. I thought it was kind of interesting to apply to cybersecurity and thoughts, okay? One of the first here that it talks about is self-directed warfare. It says, the mind is the starting point of all war and all strategy. You know, if you had experience in the military, this is probably something that is common, something that you are familiar with, okay? But if you're kind of, you know, just a cybersecurity, you know, maybe they would call you a civilian, someone who doesn't have any experience with war, you may not think of that. Okay, so this article is talking about declare war on your enemies. The polarity strategy. Life is endless battle and conflict, and you cannot fight effectively unless you can identify your enemies. Learn to smoke out your enemies, to spot them by the signs and patterns that reveal hostility. Then, once you have them in your sights, inwardly declare war. Your enemies can feel you with purpose and direction. Okay, so how would that apply to someone fighting a cyber? Well, think about this. Spot them by the signs and patterns that reveal hostility. One thing that I'm always talking about is analytics. And how do you expect to keep your organization safe without some type of analytics, some type of AI-driven system that you can actually spot these signs, these patterns? So there's one. I'm going to try to breeze through these. The other one, do not fight the past. Okay, now think about that. What most often weighs you down and brings you misery is the past. You must consciously force yourself to react to the present moment. Be ruthless on yourself. Do not repeat the same tired methods. Wage guerrilla war on your mind, allowing no static lines of defense. Make everything fluid and mobile. Okay, and I think that right there, it's tough for a larger organization because most big companies understand their weakness. They're giants. They are not agile. One thing that I always like to bring up is that point. And how can we help make your company more agile and more fluid? If anybody watches boxing, it was always sticking and moving, right? Your legs have to be fast and you have to be able to move. And then that brings to the next one, the counterbalance strategy. In the heat of the battle, the mind tends to lose its balance. It is vital to keep your presence of mind, maintaining your mental powers, whatever the circumstances. Make the mind tougher by exposing it to adversity. Learn to detach yourself from the chaos of the battlefield. If anyone has been in competition, that's usually the main thing is how to keep focus even in the middle of this competition, especially if you're a fighter. And while you might even be in trouble, you take a couple of hits or you're running a race and you stumble a little bit, how can you keep that presence of mind and keep your focus, whatever the circumstances. These are all things that I think about when I think about cybersecurity, when I think about what's going on, at the moment. One, I'm going to skip some of these. One I thought is really great: organizational team warfare. I think just the title says it all. Who are your allies? Who are the team members that are actually going to be there to help, during a firefight? When there's an issue, what is your immobilization process? How do you get to where you need to be? The stance that you need to defend against a cyber threat. These are methods that have to be, developed and practiced, and everyone has to have that type of mentality. And then we'll go down to here, the command and control strategy. The problem in leading any group is that people inevitably have their own agendas. You have to create a chain of command in which they do not feel constrained by your influence, yet follow your lead. Create a sense of participation, but do not fall into groupthink, the irrationality of collective decision making. So I think that says it all. There's an issue that happens and you have two people in a circle shooting the gun. What happens? They're all shooting each other. It's like there has to be a process. There has to be a chain of command. Who makes the decision? Yes, you have to be individual thinkers because you want all the collectiveness of the, how would you say, the individual minds to be able to think for themselves and contribute their ideas, their experience to the situation, because they're not all the same. I think the main thing that I want to iterate on these situations is that every attack is not the same. When you look at the history of viruses, ransomwares, and the spywares, the common goal is the same. It's to win, but the way that it's done can be very tricky. I think if there's one thing that I would like to, a thought that I want to leave you with is that remember, when there's a surprise attack, it's a surprise. That means more than likely you didn't see it coming. So if you can imagine a surprise attack and something that was different, is there a way to prepare your company, your organization, to be in the best position to win that battle? All right, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully we can have a discussion and kind of like some live and maybe get some guests on here just to talk about this. That's probably going to be the next goal when we have these kind of conversations. All right, thanks.